once the curse was cast. Everlight Kingdom, they're on a quest to save their ass. Journey with us as we tell you the tale. It goes down rough like a pure mountain nail. Everlight Kingdom, down at Everlight.
We rejoin Lucien in the aftermath of a brutal clash with the Royal Huntsman. As blades clashed and spells flew, his former mentor, Magnus, tore open a portal, one that led straight back to Oryn, Lucien's frozen homeland, still scarred by the dragon attack that drove him to Everlight, and now the fight follows him home. Meanwhile, Nightshade turns her attention to the mysterious dragon egg she guards closely, but its silence may speak louder than she's ready to hear.
You are now standing in the midst of your home, and he starts walking towards you, and he goes, "We need to talk now. There's a lot going on."
We either gotta kill this motherfucker or get Nightshade in here first.
He goes, "What motherfucker?" And then the Royal Huntsman steps through the portal. His entire figure encompasses the entire thing, and he slowly squeezes through the little dent in his helmet and his sword in his hand. And he slowly approaches you, and Magnus goes, "Oh shit!" And now Magnus is in this as well.
Yeah.
Roll initiative. Oh damn it. Okay. Well, it's the thought that counts. Nightshade, on your turn, when you attack, I'll bring you in. Now it is now going to be the Royal Huntsman's turn, and he is going to go for Lucien again. And he succeeds. So he walks through Lucien. He's not too far away from you. You're no longer prone, so you do pick yourself up. You take out your sword. You try to deflect his attack, but it doesn't work. He swings, and you're able to parry the first one, but as soon as that happens, he's not playing games anymore. He then just immediately goes into another swing and cleaves you straight down the middle, and it deals 12 points of piercing damage and 1 point of radiant damage. And blood sort of spurts out of you, and Magnus, furious, goes, "Nobody hits Lucien on my watch!" And he casts Magic Missile.
Oh yeah.
And about 8 darts fly that are created in the air, these glowing darts that just sort of form around and just, and then all at once and then they all just one by one pierce this guy's armor. He stumbles back, and you just see it go in one side and come out the other. And they're all, as soon as they stop glowing, they are all ice spikes and like little stalagmites made of ice and icicles. They slowly melt away, and you can see the fractures in the armor that they created. Next in the initiative is Nightshade. Are you going to use light attack? Trying to think of how to bring him in. Okay, go ahead and roll to attack, and I'll describe what happens.
10 plus 5, 15.
15, okay. As he sort of tries to slowly recover from this attack, he clutches his sword with his other hand, which he looks like he's just gonna focus all his strength on Magnus, but his concentration is broken when Nightshade jumps through the portal, and you aren't able to bite into him. You're able to wrestle him up a little bit. You land on the back of him, and you start trying to bite around him, and he angrily kind of swats you away and chucks you, but still doesn't do any damage.
And I gotta use my other one?
Bonus action.
Bonus action, yeah.
Oh god.
15 again.
15 again. All right, yeah. No. So you try to bite again, and he kicks you back this time. But still, no damage is dealt.
Boo.
Well, at least I got 6 health.
All right, Lucien, you're up next.
Back up.
Okay.
As far as I can go, which is 30. I got one more spell slot. I'm gonna use healing word on myself.
Okay.
6.
6. Okay.
Heal for 6.
So you're at 12 now?
Yes.
Okay. Do another D4 for me.
It's 1.
1. Go ahead and roll that D100, baby.
100.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck. Just play something either awful or really great.
I'm going to play a little loosey-goosey with the rules here, right?
Uh-huh.
Lucien, as soon as you cast this on yourself, you start to cough, and all of a sudden, you feel like you kind of get something stuck in your throat, and you spit it out onto the floor. It's like a trick. The spit kind of is like acidic, so it melts the snow a little bit. You're like, man, all right, you got that out of me. You gain all your spell slots back. It technically is supposed to be all your sorcery points, but I'm going to change it to spell slots.
He's fucked. He's fucked now.
So I'll have your block of ice that I'm going to say is still following him.
So I'm going to go again. Let's see. 12.
It crashes on him. He then takes his sword and jabs it in the air, and it sort of turns into clumps of snow that fall off the sword and onto the ground. While this is going on, Magnus goes, "Is that a spiritual weapon?"
Yeah.
Nice.
It was supposed to be.
Now he is going to go for. Ooh, oh no. Granddad.
I'm not your granddad.
As soon as he goes, nice, a sword comes out of stage right and just jabs into him and cuts off his ear. And then he's gonna swing again. He takes another swing.
It did get going.
And he takes it and he jabs it, and it goes into Magnus's chest and comes out the other side and skewers him. And then he pulls him back. The Royal Huntsman places his foot on Magnus and slowly presses him off of the sword. And Magnus sort of lies face down in the snow. He's still barely hanging on, but he coughs up blood, and you see the portal slowly close behind you. Nightshade, you are next in the
You
initiative.
ain't gonna tell us if you made it or not.
Can I?
No, I won't tell you until it's irrelevant.
I'm just gonna attack him.
Sure.
16.
16.
16, nope.
14 plus 6 is 12.
Plus 5,
5, sorry, 19.
19, okay, nope, still no.
How did I not get him?
And
His AC must be 20.
so yeah, you try and lunge at him both times. He nimbly dodges each of your pounces, and you just sort of kick up snow around you. Lucien, you are up next. You witness him just pierce Magnus and set up to the ground. Magnus barely clinging on to life.
Alright, so my spiritual weapon is destroyed. I'm within 60 feet of Magnus, right here.
Right.
My healing word can reach that far.
Okay.
So I want to use healing word from that far
Okay.
on him. I'm doing it at level 1, so
Right.
let's see. D4 plus 4. It's 5. I heal him for 5 points.
Go ahead and roll the d4 for the wild surge, see if you get anything.
3.
You're good.
And then from that distance where I'm at, I'm going to shoot guiding bolt at him, at the bad guy, because it's 120 feet for guiding bolt.
Go for it. So go ahead and
Cast at second level.
second level. All right. So you can, after you make the attack, you can roll the d4.
Come on, man. This is a lot of damage if I can get him. It's a 2 plus 6. At least we're trying to get down ones.
You inflict guiding bolt, and it disappears into the closed portal. Go ahead and make another d4 to
that's right.
wild surge for me. Yay.
Is it 4?
Good. All right, Nightshade, he whacks you with his sword. Still does nothing, but it does knock you back a bit. And now he is going to try and move up to Lucien. Ooh, skillfully, Lucien, out of anger, he tries to run up to you and swing. As he does, you kind of duck down, grab some snow out of the ground, chuck it into his face, and it blinds him for just a second, and you're able to dodge his very powerful swing, which cleaves into the ground, goes through the snow into the dirt, and he has to forcefully yank it out. And that's going to end his turn. Magnus, who is still very much in pain, is going to try and attack again. As
After I do that, I'm looking go, nice.
it looks like it's about to swing at you again and sort of lunge towards you, and you see a flash of light come out of left field, and it makes contact with this creature, and he disappears, and you're like, where'd he go? And you look up, and he's slowly falling from the sky. You're like, what's that? And then you just see this large hulking figure, like a shooting star, just... As soon as he splats onto the ground, he just sort of like goes limp and lifeless and kind of starts twitching a little bit, and he's now prone. Nightshade, you're up next.
I'm gonna go for jugular.
All right, and you can roll advantage because he is prone.
Okay. That'd be 14. Oh yeah, the 14.
Okay, so you run up to him and try to bite his armor. He kicks you back. He's in a lot of agony.
Alright, I'm gonna do it again.
Yep, go for it.
You're using 15 plus 5, 20?
20 hits.
Okay, so I don't need to do it again?
You can if you want to see if you get some higher.
Oh, see if you get that 20.
Yeah, let's see you get that 20.
Nope. It's 18
that was
plus...
18 plus 5.
Alright, so go ahead and roll damage.
It was
What's the
2d6. So it's these two? Yeah. Plus 5. No, plus 3, sorry.
6.
6 plus 3?
9.
9. Nightshade.
9?
As this guy is on the ground in painful agony, he kicks you back, and as you're really tired, you've been asleep for a long time, you got a lot of energy, you pounce, and he looks at you, he's like, no! And you just sort of, and Lucien, you can't see much through the strong blizzard, but you do hear this guy go, no! And then you just see bits of blood start popping out of him, and It's hard to tell what's going on. Nightshade may have cannibalized this man, if he is a man at all. He is dead.
Finally, I'm searching him. I want anything about him.
Well, I'm gonna run up now.
Yeah, sure.
Check on my granddad.
So, Nightshade, you can get some crossbow bolts off of him. That's really about it. There doesn't seem to be a whole lot on his
That's
person.
perfect. I have an empty crossbow with no bolts.
You do?
Put 'em on there.
Perfect. You can also take his sword, but it does lose its magical spells once he dies.
Jordan, you can have a sword. I don't have no use for a sword.
What is it called?
You don't know what it's called, so you can name it yourself.
What
Wait,
happens? Can I take his helmet off too while I'm searching him?
His helmet is fastened to his armor. It's really difficult to tell how these things were made and how they have any mobility at all, but it's all connected. So you're not even able to take his helmet off and see what he is. All you know is that it's bleeding. And the armor is so impressively crafted that it's difficult to dig in and separate it from any flesh. There is something under there, but it's difficult to tell what it is. Lucien, you run over and Magnus is healed over on the ground, bleeding profusely. There's this huge gaping wound in his chest. And he's sort of coughing, and he just goes, I leave you alone for 1 week, and you turn up dead. Like, kind of laughing about it, trying to find some comfort in the situation. He is slowly bleeding out, even with your healing words. It has bought him some more time, but he does not seem to have much time left.
I'll use my cure wounds on them.
Okay.
I'll use my level 2.
So that buys him some more time, and he sort of picks himself up, and he sort of like has you kind of support him a little bit, Lucien. Nightshade, now that your effect from earlier being resistant to all damage has kind of dissipated, you realize it's fucking cold here. Like, it is freezing.
Are you still a wolf or did you change the human? Oh, you had she had to change
Yeah.
it. They did in the words.
You are dealt 1 point of frost damage.
Let me go ahead there real quick.
Give me your jacket.
And so Magnus goes, what the fuck happened?
Lucy started it.
Yeah, he believes that. And he looks
We were
at
just
you.
chilling. I'm trying to wake her up, and then this guy attacks us.
What did you do? Why were you declared dead?
Well, we were in a ship, and then something made it crash, and then we crashed. And so they just thought we were all dead, but we escaped. But I broke my ribs.
Very frustrated. He just tries to process this. He's just like, okay.
You know anybody that can heal my ribs?
He looks at it and he goes, I can try. He places his hands on your ribs and tries to. You do have to take your armor off for it. It's a little uncomfortable. You're now standing out here like Gray in Fairy Tale, just not wearing a whole bunch of.
Well, I don't even feel the cold. It don't even affect me.
Yeah,
So.
you're just standing there.
She's over there trying to put it on. Like,
She's putting, she has your armor on now, like to keep her warm. And as this is going on, he goes, this is bad. This is bad. Because
I know, right here. I know. Just
he goes, the Ronuan Empire has, because you've been declared dead, has now seized the opportunity that Oryn has been declared leaderless. The people are in disarray. And I have been kicked out of my position as advisor. And now the Empire is trying to establish their presence here. He says,
gotta take him down.
He's like, I think a civil war might be brewing, and we don't have much time to fix it. I've been exiled. We have to get you to reveal yourself back to the Empire.
Bring the cameras.
He says, but that's not all. He says, Flash Feet went out, did some reconnaissance. The dragon's back.
Back again.
Tell a friend. Please tell me you've had some luck in your recruiting efforts, please.
It's only been like a week.
I'm giving you a month, and you have 1 week. Have you made any progress?
No.
You missed it the whole time. Shut up. Slightly, if I wouldn't have crashed. Well, slightly, but the Empire took me onto the ship and was probing me, and then it crashed.
Sure.
What about my dragon egg that he maybe fucked up? Can you see if it's alive?
He says, give me just a moment, and as soon as I finish with his ribs, I'll check on your egg.
Well, I'm surprised he's not surprised to see a dragon egg. You know what I mean? Because it's rare.
Yeah, now that you mention it, he does seem a little bit.
I say, because he's not just going to be like, oh, dragon egg. No,
You kind of
like,
get
what?
the impression he maybe doesn't actually believe it's a dragon egg. He kind of gets the impression that you may think it's a dragon egg, but it's actually a different kind of egg. But you clearly know that. Not
See, I've been making progress. Check this out.
He says, he kind of whispers into your ear. He goes, "It's probably just like a nymph or something like that."
Did you check it, or you just think?
He says, "Dragon eggs are extraordinarily rare."
She said she got a dragon, gave it to her,
Where'd she get it from?
wherever she's from, and Julie murdered her whole family for this whole.
He kind of tries to process it for a second, and he goes,
I mean, just look at her.
he says, dragons are extremely rare in this portion of the world. So if she does, it'd be a miracle if it survived this long.
She's been taking good care of it.
Besides you.
Hey, stay over there.
But this turns out to be a dragon. You can
It's some
train it. You can use it to take down this dragon.
Lucien. I want to believe you, but I need you to think for just a second. Not as a warrior, not as a magic magician. I need you to think as a leader about what we're doing here. There's a civil war brewing. There's a dragon about. One dragon isn't going to fix everything. Now, who's to say it'll be on our side even?
It's my baby.
You're starting to remember you really don't like this guy.
I was like, if you don't shut up and check this thing.
Listen, we ought to just let him come up here and try to go up and try to take the ruins and just get killed by the dragon.
He says, Lucien.
But listen, that dragon ain't going nowhere, so we don't need to worry about him at the moment.
Lucien, I am not interested in massacring an entire group of people for the sake of our home world. Nightshade, you keep prodding him to check your egg. He goes, okay, fine.
It's the Empire. We don't like him already.
He does remove your broken ribs affliction, so that check is no longer required from you. He goes, okay, fine.
Check the egg.
And you hand him the egg. There are little hairline fractures in it, and he starts kind of, at the end of his fingertips, this white glow sort of emanates, almost like they're like LED lights in his skin. Or he starts rolling his hand and sort of rubs his fingers around the egg. It sort of encompasses it in his hand. You can see the egg sort of begin to glow inside, and he holds it, and he looks at you guys, and he goes, it's a dragon.
I said, no shit, Sherlock.
He goes, no, it's a dragon! Both of you turn around behind him, and you see over the mountain the ice dragon fly from behind the ruins of Icewind Castle and sort of does sort of a roll in air and looks like it's getting ready for a dive and aims itself at you guys, and he quickly hands you back the egg, and he looks like he saw something, but he's very distracted right now and very confused. And you see this large creature with black scaly skin that's patchy and is kind of has holes in its bits. It looks like it's goo stretching out beyond itself and is sort of expanding. And inside of its more kind of like tattered and decayed ribs is this bright blue glow, and from its face, where its mouth is sort of, its jaw is sort of open, is this purple haze, and two incredibly long horns with a very sharp edge to them protrude from the back of its head. And it has 4 legs that are long and slender, and claws. They're almost like the precision of a dagger at the end of it. And Lucien, this is the second time you have seen this creature. For Nightshade, this will be the first time you've ever seen something like this.
Yeah, but, oh, pretty.
Yeah, you're very amazed by it. And
It is not pretty. It is incarnate. You must leave for something.
No.
Teleport us out here, old man.
he takes his staff, stabs it into the ground, clutches it tightly, and he starts beginning muttering to himself. And you see the orb that the staff's wood is grabbing sort of become kind of swirl inside. Lucien, you look back and you see this dragon in the air, sort of whirling. You're like, I don't know if it sees us, but then eventually, mid-whirl, it sort of starts to expand its wings and looks your general direction. It looks like it's getting closer, and you realize this thing is going in for a dive. And Magnus is like, I'm going as fast as I can. This sort of portal begins to sort of form. Again, you see reality shifting. Nightshade, you're still looking at the dragon. So you see coming toward closer and closer. Magnus is trying to put all of his energy into it. You see Lucien, this oval sort of change color. You see those white sparkly bits sort of come off of it, and it does seem like he's losing control of it a bit. Its size sort of begins to warp and mangle and change, and eventually this white halo forms in the air, and inside of it reality begins to part. It changes colors. This sort of purple flash sort of separates this image inside of the oval, and then you're able to see on the other side the tower once again back at Everlight. You grab Nightshade and sort of yank her through the portal, and Magnus sees you going, and as you run through, you realize he's not coming with you, and you sort of run through and you kind of see like this gaping hole in his chest. You see this that he's holding on to his torso in a lot of pain, and he looks at you and you see his sad face. He looks like a man who has seen a lot happen. He has seen a lot of death and destruction, and he looks so conflicted and depressed with where his life is at this point. You wonder if he has any will to even follow you to another place where something might go wrong for him again, so he doesn't follow you through.
What are you doing? Get it, hurry up.
He looks at you and you see the last glimmer of hope in his eye. You go through and you realize the portal's not actually, you're running straight, but the portal is not facing straight. You actually run out and you fall, and you land flat on your back, and you realize the portal was protruding from the ground. Both you and Nightshade sort of tumble onto the grass floor outside the tower, and you get back up and you realize Magnus did not follow you. And as you go back to try and chase him down, you begin to see the portal slowly begin to close, but it's not fast enough. And you see this dragon fly through the portal and shoot straight into the air. And you watched as this horrifying creature has followed you to yet another place, and you see it go up way into the air, and it seems confused, so it doesn't even stop to register what's happened, and you just see it kind of fly off into the distance, and you get back up and you try to go and find Magnus, but as soon as you take your eyes off the dragon, you realize that the portal is kind of frozen, not as if it's closed, but as if whatever was keeping it open suffered an immense impact. You're not quite sure what, but it's clear that something killed Magnus as the dragon went through, and you just see the portal reflecting his life force slowly kind of dissolve, and the white specks sort of flicker out, and now the portal is gone, and both of you are back in Everlight, the tower.
The dragon's flying around?
The dragon flies off way into the sky. And
The baby dragons?
No.
No.
Just a big ancient dragon.
You didn't tell me if my egg was fine.
Speaking of which, you do go, you didn't tell me if my egg was fine. And you look at it, you realize your egg is not fine. There are a lot of cracks and stuff in it now. And it's slowly getting, the cracks are slowly fracturing even more, getting bigger.
I want to put my ear to the thing to see if I hear anything.
Make an investigation
Don't
check.
crack it even more.
Shut up. I know.
It's a +0, remember, so
4.
You don't hear anything.
it's for good reason.
So you're really confused and you're scared that in the fight somehow maybe the egg might have gotten damaged.
Let me listen.
Lucien, you realize that it is no longer the midday or high noon that it was when you went through the portal. Now it is closer to nighttime. The tower is quiet and silent. There's not a sound to be heard. There are no more horses.
Hello? Hello?
You call out hello, it echoes, no sound can be heard. There's not even any wisps anymore.
Well, we need to rest, because I'm hurt, you're hurt, and this egg's hurt, so we need to rest.
You guys can take a short rest if you want.
I meditate.
So you guys rest for a minute, and then you begin to hear the sounds of like bones popping in and out of place. And you look to the wall east of the tower that's broken down, where the huntsman came in before. Lucien, you're a little wary of whatever may come through that wall now, but the only thing that does is a very bruised and battered Bartley the Wizard, who looks like he got fucked. He got gig-gugged. And he just sort of limps back to the tower. He looks really pathetic and weak. And as he sort of stumbles in, he looks to you and says, "Are we all that's left?"
Yeah. You just see that dragon that came through?
The what?
He released the dragon.
I've released death itself on the pond Everlight.
All right, one thing at a time right now. One thing at a time.
Can you hear this egg?
You hand it to, let me see if he does. He actually does.
Finally!
It only took us 6 chances. 2 steps out.
He hears a faint heartbeat and slight little whimpers. He goes, "My goodness, this egg is hatching.
Finally!
Quick, everyone inside!" And he orders you guys, and he kind of becomes like the doctor in the hospital room with the pregnancy. He starts like ordering, like, "I need blankets. I need water to keep it hydrated. I need water to keep the mother hydrated." You're like, "I'm not even the mother."
I am. I need water. I need ice.
You kind of start running around the place, getting everything you need. He starts barking orders at you guys for everything that you're going to need to make this happen. Both of you make an investigation check for me to find the items that he has
All right,
requested.
higher than a 4. You go first.
12.
12. Yours is a +0. Mine's a +0 too. 16.
Okay, yeah. You guys,
Hell yeah.
Nightshade, he orders you to find certain oils and medicines that he has locked in his cabinet. You go through, you kind of start collecting one by one each one, and you can you kind of take note that this is all stuff that you need to help for the birth of your dragon. It seems like because the dragon is not being born in its natural environment, it needs extra precautions to make sure that it doesn't have any defects in the birthing process. Lucien, he asks you not to fetch any medicine, which you might take an insult to because you're like, I can be smart too.
The dragon might not need meds, but I need meds.
Right. He instead asks you to collect some books for him. Lucien, through this, you find bestiary on dragons. So you go and you bring that back to him. As soon as you guys each reach the main part of the tower near where the teleporter was, to the side of that is a bunch of alchemy tables and a little rug that he has laid out and placed the egg on. Nightshade, you hand him the vials that he asked of you. Lucien, you hand him the book. He starts thumbing through it. He begins to apply certain oils to the egg, and he then casts a spell to sort of imitate a certain temperature to like emulate an environmental need. You can tell he's not really doing this for you guys as much as he is doing this just for the moment of hatching a dragon in real life. As this lengthy process goes on, Lucien, you begin to get a little bored and frustrated because like you're starting to tap your foot because there's an actual dragon out there now that destroyed your home, and your actual home is about to be taken down by a civil war, and tensions are brewing, and as soon as you get ready to just explode in agony to burst out and let this guy know that you don't have this kind of time, you hear a little out from the top of the egg, a little silver mixed with gray scaled baby dragon with long white fur on the back of its head, with little tiny red crystals poking out the back of it, and very tiny little wings that it sort of flutters, crawls out the top. Its tail is very long and spikes on the end of it like that of a porcupine. It kind of crawls out. Bartley takes it in his hand, and he looks to you, and you're really excited, and he really wants to hold on to it, but he looks at you, and out of frustration he finally goes, hands you the dragon. And you are overwhelmed, and you can get, both of you can take 1 inspiration.
I'm at 2.
As Nightshade starts to play with her new baby, Bartley stands up.
Maybe where'd the others go?
The others went to Bradford, near Gloria.
Oh yeah, they're still trying to deal with this curse that we have, that we forgot about. Because I already have a different one, so, so let's go find where they went, I guess.
He gives you the bestiary dragons to hold, and he says, I'm gonna go, I'll get the teleporter ready. He seems very curmudgeon about it. What you guys don't see is Bartley going down the stairs to prepare all the rest of his, all the things he needs for the teleporter once again to get it working, and he's going through a tower that is just wrecked. The Royal Huntsmen were not gentle on the tower whatsoever. Books are strewn about everywhere. Pieces of the tower are singed, and it's all just a mess. And then once he finally gets all the ingredients together, he kind of keeps a poker face on. I don't know if he blames you guys or not, but he just notices that when you guys showed up, his tower got fucked. You can tell he's definitely got some stuff he's thinking about as he's realizing and taking in sort of the information he's received that his former student may be responsible for cursing numerous individuals and the death of many. So he begins setting up his teleporter, prepares to send you guys off, and eventually you see it. It's kind of like a little base, and there's like a rune drawn onto it. The rune begins to glow a sort of white color, and little specks of light kind of come off of it, like little pieces of white dust. Bartley steps back. He is, in the meantime, goes over to his alchemy table, and he gets out a book called How to Create a Wisp, because it's clear all of his are dead, and starts reading through it, and he leans up against it, and he realizes you guys are still there, and he goes, "Oh, you can go. It's open."
Oh. Alright, well, appreciate all your help, sir. Is he you the godfather of this thing now?
No.
No, okay, I'll see you, son. I'll see you. How rude.
I'm gonna say he hears you say that, but he just kind of goes, "That's fair." You guys stand on the teleporter. Your entire being glows white, and immediately, this bright, fat flash of light, like a camera flash, you see the tower disappear. You both kind of catch yourself as you land. Teleporter kind of teleports you a few feet up in the air. You land carefully. You look around, and it's actually, you're on the top of a very large hill. You see a bunch of rolling hills around you. To the north, a very pretty sunset, and to the north of the hill that you're on, or actually more to the west. East. Fuck, I went through all the directions. More to the
West.
You can see the town of Bradford, a little resort town that people go to for their vacations, and you're like, I guess that's where our party is. And you see off in the very far distance a large explosion, and you're like, that's definitely where our party
Let's go this way, not that way.
You've been listening to Everlight Kingdom. Game mastered by JT Fondren. Music by Travis Savoy. Theme song by Adam Blotner. Special thanks to our amazing players. And a big thank you to our listeners for joining us on this adventure. Don't forget to subscribe to Everlight Kingdom and leave us a review. And check out altaloom.com for more RPG podcasts and stories.
altaloom.com. Adventures too big for the table.